there, and welcome to the Kingdom Sexuality Podcast. We're Paris and Alana, friends who have a heart for intimacy and long to uncover God's truth and design for sexual freedom within marriage. Welcome here.
All right, ladies, we are coming at you today talking all things orgasm. Alana put up an amazing little Q&A out there on our stories, and this is a hot topic, like a very hot topic. So we're super excited to take these with you ladies through the next couple of episodes. So we're totally making this part of our Womanhood Diaries because we actually want to focus a lot on even our own anatomy and understanding how a woman's body works for climaxing. So before we get any further, we do want to reiterate that we are not experts. We're not pretending to be experts.
No.
We are just very much on this journey with you. And we want to say, too, we do not have it all figured out, guys. We do not. We are literally, like, doing all the practicing and all the things along with you guys because that's what marriage is all about, and intimacy.
Yeah.
Secondly, we believe that God created both men and women to feel pleasure during sex, which a lot of people don't realize. Like, it's such a stigma even throughout history, you know, that it's for the man, right?
Yeah.
And women's supposed to just do it. That is not true. Read Song of Solomon, people. It's amazing. So with that all said, we do want to state the obvious. Men and women's bodies are vastly different from one another. But then should it also be obvious that men and women will have different requirements to achieve orgasm? So that's why we put this all in here, because we are different. We can't expect ourselves as women to maybe orgasm as easily as it seems to come for men. Okay. We seem to just put ourselves parallel with man. Be like, okay, I touched him and he's on cloud 9. Like, what's happening here? I'm in this an hour later and still nothing's happening. What is going on?
Yeah.
So, like we do, we are going to debunk 5 major lies that are circled around orgasm, and Alana's going to take it from the top.
Yeah. So number 1, it's common for men and women to orgasm all the time and at the same time.
I totally thought that going into marriage. Like, it wasn't even a question.
Yeah. No, completely. I was the exact same.
Yeah.
So looking at it now, it's just kind of funny.
7 years in, big surprise. Hello.
Oh, right. But really, men and women have vastly different requirements when it comes to achieving an orgasm. And I mean, everybody's body is different. Every woman's body is different. Every man's body is different. So obviously, this isn't a one-size-fits-all. But if you're concerned that you're not orgasming at the same time as your spouse, not a big deal.
Yeah.
Let's be real. No, it's not like, it happens, but I don't know that it's the common norm. And if you think about it too, like, men and women require different things to get there. So it's kind of obvious that for that reason, you wouldn't necessarily climax at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. And I know in previous episodes, Alana and I talked about, you know, men and women being different that way, and think of a guy like a microwave and a woman like a slow cooker. Like, the guy, you pop him in, he's good to go, like seconds, and he's on cloud 9. For women, we naturally, physiologically, we need time to warm up. That's how God made us, which I think is beautiful, because then again, we're there meeting needs and serving each other and coming before each other as husband and wife to do those things, which is a really beautiful opportunity we have to grow.
Yeah. And I think too, just talking about it and being like, hey, let's get me there first and then we'll get you there after. Like, to have that conversation. Because, I mean, what I was reading in that, the book Sheet Music, Dr. Lehman, and he was just saying, you know, like, a gentleman finishes last. Like,
right? There you
get your
go.
woman there, get her there, you know, she's purring because she's, you know, at like cloud 9. And then from there, you know, wham, bam, it's done, you know?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
And that was a great response from him. It's like, oh yeah,
It is.
be a
And
gentleman.
yeah, be a gentleman. And for us as women and with our husbands to enjoy the journey of intimacy. You know, it's not like this is the goal. We're going to get to this goal, you know, every night. Like make sure I climax, make sure he climaxes. The goal should be enjoying the journey together. Enjoy your lovemaking. Like that should be amazing.
Yeah, which really segues well into number 2.
Yes. Yes. So number 2 is you have to orgasm during sex for it to actually be good sex. Or it's the goal of sex, which is a hard no. Hard no. Orgasming during sex should never be the only goals. I'm not going to say not to have goals for lovemaking because I am a firm believer in having goals for that because you need to keep growing. There's so much experimenting and learning to do together. But the goal of sex should be connection with your spouse, expressing your love to one another, becoming one, the unity. That is the goal of it, is to reconnect, you know. Neil always says this to me. He's like, how amazing is it, you know, that when we are in connection together, that's like such a sacrifice of like, it's sacred to God, you know, God blessing the marriage bed, right? So I think that's a beautiful way to look at it. And then also we want to say, like, in conjunction to that lie, that the only way for sex to be good is for orgasm to happen, is to look at numbers and surveys of women. And it shows that it's quite common for women not to experience an orgasm during sex. But that doesn't mean that she didn't have good sex and she didn't enjoy herself.
Yes.
So I think we should take that a little bit more deeply, you know, like maybe just revamp our mindset around it, that our marriage is about so much more than if you're simply orgasming or not.
All right. So number 3, exploring my body to learn how I orgasm is dirty and wrong. That one was actually brought up a couple of times in the Instagram stories responses. And so I'm really glad we're addressing it today. And I'm glad we're going to continue to talk about orgasming more, just to clear the air in some of this stuff.
Yes. Cause this can be pretty it can be pretty controversial things. I think especially coming at it from a biblical and a godly perspective, a lot of people feel very confused as to, okay, is this okay? Is this permitted? Is it not? I don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was confused about it in my marriage as well at the beginning. Being like, well, no, like that's not what you do. Like you just have sex. Right. Like what else would I do? So, but Dr. Lehman in Sheet Music, he put it really well. So, he had said around the topic of experimenting on yourself, you know, to find out what feels good. So from his book, he had said, getting familiar with your body is an unselfish act as you train yourself to become a better lover for your spouse. Your creator designed you to give and receive sexual pleasure. So have this conversation with yourself, your husband, cover it in prayer, explore your body together, you know, with your husband. If you want, like if just you, that's okay too. And just make sure you're communicating and praying about this and looking at good resources. And even in the Bible, right? The Song of Solomon, like Paris mentioned before. Yeah. So you'd be surprised how many sexual experiences and pleasures are scattered throughout Song of Solomon.
So many.
Yeah. And even looking at that other book, Intimacy Ignited, it's basically all about Song of Solomon, is it not? Where it's just going through. Yeah. So great. And so freeing as a woman to know, no, this is okay. You're learning your body, and think like, I think mindset is everything too. If you're exploring your body and you're thinking about a past relationship or some porn you watched a long time ago, or a different man or something different, like, I think if you're exploring your body, you're thinking about your husband and past experiences you've had with him, and he's there with you, you know, it's completely different. And so just having the holy mindset and keeping your marriage at the forefront of this and how you want to improve your sex life and that connection with your husband. And this is how you're learning your body to find out what feels good and what will help you be a better lover.
Yeah, absolutely. When that's the goal and the motive of this, it changes the game. Like, I honestly believe it does. Okay, number 4, I am the only one who has trouble reaching climax. You guys have no idea how many times I have told myself that in my marriage, in my early years. Like, so many times. I thought I was the only one. I didn't even think it, like I believed it. And I can't even begin to tell you how devastating that was to me, to both of us, Neil and I, to our marriage bed. It did not serve me at all. It was such a sneaky lie, and I bit it and I ran with it. And I had a lot of undoing to do in regards to my mindset. So as we started talking about this, as I started reaching out to more women and started talking with friends and doing a lot of research and reading, I was like, oh my gosh, so many women struggle with this thought.
Yes.
This is such an overbearing lie that seems to loom over wives, which is heartbreaking. So we want to totally renounce that. Like right now, it is not true.
Yeah.
This is a common lie, but it's also a common struggle. That reaching and achieving climax is a struggle amongst a lot of women. So we're going to talk about this a lot more, you guys. We just want to tell you that you aren't alone. Absolutely, you're not. We're on a mission to help wives enjoy this journey and to get educated on orgasm and your own bodies and your marriage beds and achieving these dreams within your marriage.
Yeah, I remember being with some friends and we were kind of talking about this a little bit, just like sex in general and whatever. And I had friends who were talking about, I'm trying to have multiple orgasms, during sex. And I was like, in my head, I was like, I haven't ever had one. Like, what do you mean multiple orgasms? Give me one. Just like, what are you talking about? So it was just bizarre to wrap my brain around that.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. I feel that.
So number 5, an orgasm will just happen to me one day.
Super false.
This is something I did think, though. I did think that eventually, as we just were more years into our marriage, it would just suddenly happen. And, all the hard work of, trying to get there all these years and finally, woohoo, I did it.
Yeah.
But no. Achieving orgasm is a skill that women have to learn.
Yeah. I feel like you need to say that 5 times over.
Right?
I would
you have to learn
that
it.
Is something. Yes, it is a skill to learn.
Yes. You got, and that was the game changer for me. Like learning, I had to learn. Like just learning that. It's like, wait, what? Yes. So very few women achieve orgasm without doing the hard work and discovery to know what they like.
Yeah.
So in sheet music, Dr. Lehman had shared that women need to get to know and learn their bodies well enough so they can help their husband learn what really makes them tick.
Which is super important because, as much as we need to learn the skill and the sensations that come with orgasm and how to get our bodies there, we need to help our husbands too, because our husbands long to give that to us. That makes them feel like the king of the world, so it's important. It's so important because then you're also giving that gift to your husband, which is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And how much more fun would sex be for him, being able to look at you and seeing you experience this phenomenal pleasure.
Exactly.
And he's the one who helped you get there.
Yes.
He'd be like, oh yeah, I feel so good.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Pat on my back. I'm so great.
Seriously. Yeah. Again, it's a gift, right? It's a gift for you to learn that skill, to bring your husband along and helping him learn those skills and doing it together and then experiencing it together.
So to conclude, we would just really like to challenge you to look at your mindset around sex and what it is to you and what's your goal in it. And is it to orgasm if you haven't before, or, have multiple orgasms if that's where you're at? Or is it just to, enjoy it and express that oneness to each other, become one, keep that connection with your spouse, right? And so we would just encourage you to take the time to explore your body and find out what feels good if you haven't done that. And just give yourself the permission to do that. That
absolutely.
No shame in it. That it's not a shameful thing, but that it's in with the right mindset. You know, it's an honorable thing to do for your husband, and what a blessing, right? And so we also would encourage you to just look in your life and see, like, think through these lies and ask yourself if there's any of these lies that you're maybe believing, and just know that, you know, we're all in this journey together. And so you're not alone, and you can do it. You can get there.
We're cheering you on. We're cheering you guys on and challenging you. Like Alana said, pray over this, because next week we're tackling orgasms and the different kinds of orgasms there is and how our bodies work as women. So we want to prepare you now by challenging you to cover yourself in prayer, to do that work that Alana mentioned, and exploring yourself and delving into the depths of your minds around sex, you know, around your own pleasure as a woman and as a wife, right? It's something that God has given us to enjoy, and it's about time that we're starting to claim that back as our right as wives. Hey friends, thank you so much for hanging out with us as we dive deeper into meaningful, godly intimacy, tackle the hard questions, and embrace truth while we're at it. We're also on Instagram at Kingdom Sexuality. You'll find our Instagram handle below in the show notes, where you'll also see any other resource links we may have mentioned in today's episode. As always, our hearts are to cultivate deep community and freedom with you guys, and we cannot wait to continue this journey alongside you. We'll see you in the next episode.